This class we started talking about needs, and you did an exercise in which you realized that a single device or the same device, such as a screwdriver, could have different shapes, forms, and functions depending on the customer you're working for. We took celebrities, different types of celebrities with different types of characteristics, different kinds of wants, different kinds of needs. Now the question you might still be asking yourself is, fine, this methodology works for designing a product or a process for somebody. What about if you're going off to a manufacturing company and you have to do automation, you're required or you are invited to do automation? Will this methodology work? And the answer is yes. So I want you to imagine yourself going to an automotive company, maybe NEMAC or maybe Ford or General Motors or Chrysler. And let's take somebody that manufactures like NEMAC, that manufactures engine blocks, engine heads, and does it through a particular process that's called it's casting, aluminum casting. What you want to do is you want to understand what your customers' wants are. What do they really want? And you need to create a possibility. What is the possibility that you're creating? And the possibility has to be much greater than simply making parts. Because NEMAC is not there to make parts. They make parts because they're there. Their purpose is a lot bigger. Thanks to them, or thanks to the parts they produce, they can help their customers build automobiles that you and I use for different things. Some people use the automobiles for farming. Some people use them for cruising around. Some people use them to take their families up and down or different places. Some buses take, in the city, will actually take people around for different reasons. So the product is really there to fulfill a much greater purpose, a much greater need. So if you were working with NEMAC and you were an automation engineer, the first thing I would invite you to do is to create the possibility and work the possibility with them. What is it that they're after? From that, you're going to understand the wants. What is it that they want? They want to manufacture quicker. They want to be able to do it at a lower cost. They want to give very high quality. They want to be able to do so many parts per hour. So you want to start understanding the wants and the needs. But then you also have to understand the constraints. How many hours do they work every day? Is it all automated? Do they also have manual labor? What about the rules and regulations? For example, I didn't know, but I don't know if you knew, but in Mexico, it is very important the time of the day in which you start all of your motors. The Powerworks company will charge you more or less depending on how much electricity or how much energy you're using at certain times during the day. So it doesn't matter how much you use all the rest of the day. They're really focused on those peak moments, and they'll measure how much electricity you're using. If you understand that, you'll be able to create solutions that will help them optimize their costs in that regards. Maybe you have a company that manufactures parts that are seasonal. For example, if you manufacture fans or if you manufacture popsicles, ice popsicles, it is very unlikely they will sell a lot of ice popsicles in winter compared to ice popsicles or ice cream during summer. So you need to understand the cycles, their cycles, and that will also put constraints on their people. How many people they're going to have working at a time, whether those people are fixed, whether they're actually rotating, whether they subcontract help from the outside. You need to understand all that. And that's really immersing yourself. That's really submerging yourself. That's really going deep into the life of your customer. You want to fully understand your customer. You want to put yourself in their shoes, understand everything around it. If you're automating a cell, you also want to identify how the parts get to the cell, to the manufacturing cell. What happens with the end product after you finish? How is it shipped? How is it packaged? Where does it go? Where is it stored? Because all of that influences the best overall solution. And sometimes you can find a solution that's so clean, so crisp, and so ideal that it solves not only your manufacturing problem, but the whole process, including distribution. Okay, so I want you to relate an invitation I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to get on to the internet, go into YouTube channel, look for some automation, something that you like. Maybe you want to go into Ford or General Motors or Heineken or manufacturer of shoes, whatever is your fancy, whatever you really like. And I want you to start doing the same type of analysis we've done in class. What's the possibility you can create? How can you help them be the best? How can you help them get a bigger market? How can you help them get more customers? How can you help them manufacture more, higher quality, less effort? How can you help them multiply themselves? So you want to understand that, but then you also want to understand what are their real needs. And make a list of qualification, needs, constraints, etc. And imagine different markets, whether they manufacture for 1 million people, they manufacture for 100,000 people, or they manufacture for 10 people. The constraints, limitation, needs, and wants change. Okay, do this exercise and you'll be able to relate everything we're seeing in our class, which is an innovative design course. You'll be able to use it for products like we're doing in class, for processes, for services, and for automation. I'll see you next time.